This week on Heart of Oak.
That's actually a little alarming.
Man, is it a wreck.
Oh, honey, I made you something. Hey, I'm Lizzy.
And I'm PJ.
And we're Oak Development and Design.
Just hang 1,800 pounds in the air. Hope we don't break it. We tear down and rebuild houses. High fives for taking houses down.
From spec homes to custom renovations and design. Stop, you're bad at this.
We save what we can.
Rebuild what we can't.
Not exactly sure how we're gonna pay for it yet. It's not stressful. I'm not stressed.
Whoa!
We do it all here in New England, where we call home. We don't just flip houses.
We create homes. Heart of Oak is brought to you by
Timberland Pro. Always do, never done. Cam Appliance. Make your next appliance a Cam Appliance. Mid-Cape Home Centers, serving building professionals for 125 years. Mountain One Bank, where banking is in our nature. So I got another house.
Yep.
I'm not exactly sure how we're gonna pay for it yet. It's a really interesting house with like a weird old cape, but has a kind of old, like early 80s barn. My plan, which is a little crazy, is to tear the house down to the slab and then build a new foundation from the current foundation over to the barn, make it a cathedral kitchen.
So connect the old house foundation to the barn with more house.
I wanted to keep the cape, but it was so poorly built to today's standards. It wasn't built to code.
And then to build off of it would be hard.
Yeah, it would be too hard.
That's a big project.
Yeah, it's a big gamble, actually, because we don't even know like if the height of the barn will work with the height of the house. So I think step one, get the engineer over there. Step two, get Jonathan over who's gonna draw it for us, and then decide like, is it gonna work or isn't?
See what happens?
See what happens. Roll the dice.
You have to buy it.
I know, but it's already pre-sold.
Okay.
It's a good problem to have. What's cool about this house is it's an old house. It was built in the early 1900s, and it has some cool old character. For example, these brackets for the roof in the front, we're actually gonna keep these intact so that we keep that kind of old school charm that the house currently has. This one is the perfect candidate for what I guess you could call in our industry as a quick flip. Although we don't like to say that because we think the term flip kind of means cheap, which we don't do. But for us, we could probably be in and out of here. Our goal is 3 months. We're gonna be stripping the entire outside of the house. All the windows come out, the roof comes off. The ceiling height up there is really low. I think it's a 7-foot ceiling height. And so what our plan is to actually rip the roof off because it's a truss roof, we can't modify it. Reframe the ceiling height about a foot taller. Reframe the whole roof with a big captain's dormer on the top of it. And those windows up on the roof will then either light the room underneath it, or we're actually thinking about maybe doing a loft up there, which could be really cool. Let's check it out. Look at this place. Stuff coming out of the floor. In about a week, all we'll see is this everywhere, right? All of this plaster, all the floors, everything's coming out. What I'm standing in is the old kitchen, and we're actually gonna keep it the kitchen. We're just gonna open it up. So that wall comes down. Johnny's working on what is going to end up being the powder room. This wall here, this wall comes down. We'll probably have to put some sort of beam in. And now I'm kind of in like the open living area. So kitchen with your island, 4 stools here. And then this area, we're gonna build a little custom bench here for some sort of breakfast nook. And then this wall is the backside of the staircase going down to the garage. We're actually finishing the right half of the 2-car garage. Kind of crazy to get rid of the second car, but it gives me an area for a proper mudroom, which is like an absolute must these days. Everybody wants a mudroom.
Luckily, we haven't run into any real insulation.
There's no insulation in this house?
Yeah, luckily for us, that there's no real insulation.
Great.
Overall,
makes your life easy.
Yeah, a lot easier.
So what you're saying is it wouldn't have passed today's energy code, is what you're saying? No. Definitely not. So we closed on Squirrel Hill this morning. I think it's probably gonna be one of the coolest houses we've ever built. This is what we call a pork chop lot. So it's blocked in by houses, very private back in the back here. So I have my own driveway, which leads back to an old farm. That little cape there used to be a potting shed back in the early 1900s attached to an old greenhouse. The man is in a wreck. Our plan is to basically take the second barn off, just start over, rip it down, and then take this old shack off the back. And then the wall of the big Gambrel barn will actually end up being a big bank of windows, and that will be our kitchen and indoor space out to a really cool outdoor patio. The driveway's gonna go where that tree is, and that tree is gonna get moved over here. That's gonna become a garage, because it's actually on a slab. Bonus from above it, connect the barn and the house with a big porch living above it, and then that's gonna be our kitchen. Now the scary thing is, as part of the deal, to sweeten it for them, I told them that I would let them leave anything they wanted. Right about now, I might be regretting that, because I have no idea what I'm getting left. But one really cool thing is that stove. It's heated like 4 or 5 different houses. And so now it'll be really cool to actually refurbish and keep in the existing house and continue the heritage of the stove in the area. You know, depending on what they leave here, you know, it'd be cool to use some of these old antiques as decorations in some of the rooms. It's gonna take us some time to get through this, but totally worth it. I'm more curious what it looks like up here than anything else. I was checking out the roof. This thing is kind of awesome. I think we're gonna have to keep that. It's a shame that tree's gotta go away. It's a nice tree. I think this is a bunny. Our camera guy thinks this is a squirrel because we're on Squirrel Hill, but it's a bunny. Looks like it has a nut in its mouth. We're taking a poll. Is that a squirrel or a bunny?
That's actually a little alarming. I might not jump on that floor anymore upstairs.
No. That looks like it's gonna be in like a goth chamber. It's a little worse than I was expecting. All right, so the demo guys have been absolutely crushing it. The inside is completely done. The middle of the house is sunk over time. We know that the main beam is sagging quite a bit.
Yeah. What are your thoughts with this?
Well, we either gonna have to put in an LBL in the bottom or cut this beam out.
The least we get into upsetting the old framing, the better. I think so. Maybe trying to go up underneath it. So if we can just try and jack it up, support it with some new lumber, and take some of that banana out of it, I think would be good.
I think that should be fine, yes.
I'm a little concerned with the way it's bearing on the posts either side too. It's holding on by about 3/4 of an inch, so that's actually a little alarming. I might not jump on that floor anymore upstairs.
No.
All right, so a couple of hard days framing in the dark basement down here, huh?
It's a little worse than I was expecting, but what can you do, right? It's the name of the business. I just want to show you.
While the team shores up the antique reno, PJ and I head to Cam.
We're trying to stay around $5,000 total budget.
Yeah, so you need a stove, a refrigerator, a dishwasher. Oh, and then you know what else we need to look at?
What?
A washer dryer.
Oh, for our house?
For us.
For us? It's the first time we're ever looking at something for us.
I know.
Here we are, Cam Appliance.
Make your next appliance a Cam appliance. Did you see what it's doing?
No.
Watch. Whoa.
You mean the second
The door.
Yeah, I saw that when I opened it.
Oh, that's cool. I don't know. Oh, honey, I made you something.
Are these like attached?
Yes.
Oh, no, they're not. They're
Oh,
just on
kidding.
it. Season 4, we'll get that in the house for ourselves.
So this is a little squared off, professional handle. This one does have the water dispenser on the front.
Not fancy.
Yeah, it is. And it has a hot water dispenser too. And you can hook up a Keurig to it if you wanted to.
Whoa.
And you could tell Alexa to tell GE Geneva to preheat the coffee.
They're friends.
Yeah, they are friends. Isn't that awesome?
I want a GE Geneva.
I would use it all
This
the
is
time.
pretty cool.
And you can actually upload pictures and have the kids scrolling by and things of that nature.
Cool.
Wow.
So we're looking at GE dishwashers here. GE Profile. They made it so you can mix and match both of the lines, and then
Okay.
you just gain features as you start to step up. That's the original one that we had on the quote. That is in their slate color, but it does come in stainless. It would look just like this. There's a little light on the front to let you know it's running. And when you go from this model here to step up, you gain the third cutlery
Ooh,
rack.
that's cool.
Yes.
Don, this floor model's for sale, right?
We can make a floor model for anything you want.
There you go.
So we've done the fridge, we've done the dishwasher, now we need the range.
All right,
Let's do it.
good. So slide in burner, you have the oval center burner. You can put the griddle on there, and the griddle will heat up evenly. And then GE did something smart too. You have a power burner on the left and the right instead of just being on the right. Not everybody's a righty. Some people are lefties, so this works both ways. One of the largest oven capacities. It does have convection too.
Awesome. And so this fits within the budget.
Oh, absolutely.
I know I've done the XO hood in the past. I know I've
Yes.
done a Zephyr hood in the past. Thoughts?
I'm thinking for this house that we may want to stick with the Zephyr for this one because the profile is about being curvy. If you notice the corners here,
Yep.
they have a little bit more of a curve. Also, with this one, depending on where you mount it, if someone like you or you guys were taller in there, you bang your head on
I've
it.
totally done that.
Yes.
100%.
So this is much more forgiving.
So we've got the dishwasher,
The range.
the range, the fridge, the hood. We're not doing the microwave.
Done.
Done.
There you go.
Love it. Well, we've had a super productive week, but we really got to get on the tile for Squirrel Hill, right? So I thought today we'd run over to Baloo and kind of get an idea of what we're going to be ordering. Obviously, we pre-sold this, so you've talked to them a bit about what they want to do, right?
Yeah, I have a good idea. I mean, having talked to the buyer, I got sort of a pretty good sense of their taste and what they're thinking about.
So are we thinking modern farmhouse stylish?
I do know that they are really excited about the master bath.
Well, they did say to me, we don't care about anything except we want a baller master bathroom.
Baller.
Baller.
Is that how you say it?
That's what they said, baller. The shower itself is actually really big, so I think we're gonna end up spending a lot of money in the shower.
Yeah.
And the floor is, it's more square footage than we realized, so.
Right. Part
You
of
know.
me wants the floor to sort of just blend in with the rest of the space.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're putting a lot of upgrades into this house, but I'm not sure that they're going to want to go for like a giant cost for just a floor.
I think the goal is let's look at that stuff, but then really kind of come up with a cost-effective solution for the floor and spend the money most likely in the shower.
Yeah, that's fine.
You gonna crush it? Everybody makes fun of me for saying crush it
You
all
say
the
it
time.
every 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Your
but-
daughter says it now.
She does?
Yes.
That's right, she does.
Okay. Hi. How are you? I'm Lizzy.
Nice to meet
Nice
you,
to
Rebecca.
meet
Hey,
you.
how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you again. Squirrel Hill, we're a little behind actually. We want to get that picked today, or at least like 90% there. That looks like it's gonna be in like a goth chamber.
Have you been to a goth chamber before?
No. Lizzy had some ideas on the mudroom.
It's like a slate look. I like the lighter grout
Are you
powder.
thinking of porcelain instead of an actual slate? So it's just gonna be your maintenance, whether or not you want
Right, to have
something that's low maintenance
Right.
would be the porcelain. This is a slate, so you can see the porcelain versus the slate.
And this is a porcelain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I still think I like the
Just
slate
classic
better.
slate.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that.
in form
Yeah.
as well for you. So.
Yeah.
Done.
Okay.
Decision
Awesome.
made. Next up, the kitchen.
It has a really nice rustic appeal to it. The edging is also weathered. It has a slight hint
Kinda
of
like
gray
that.
to
I
it.
don't see that as what this kitchen is like.
Yeah, you want to go more of a polished as a contrast to like the rough concrete.
Yeah.
What are we looking at here?
This one right here.
Like
there's the
this.
matte finish, there's the gloss.
I like the gloss better
Yeah.
than the matte.
On the floor in the laundry room, obviously we should go with something that like feels practical. I
Yeah.
don't really want to do like a patterned floor again.
Me neither. It's gonna be upstairs with one window and it's a big room,
Yeah.
so I think we should go a lighter color
Okay.
Yeah.
to brighten it up.
Yeah.
And plus outside in the hall is gonna be dark hardwood.
Yeah. Does
So-
it not make sense to just pull the wood into the laundry room or no because of water?
Well, for her bottom line, she wants us to do tile.
I was like, I'm not going to answer that question.
I like
our
this
laundry.
or I like this.
How much is that?
$1,000 a square foot.
I bet it's expensive.
24.
Yeah, this is a concrete tile, so you have to think about a couple things here. Number one, the thickness of it, so we have to prep for how thick the tile is. And then number two, it does scratch easily, so we tend to wait further in the process to install it so we don't mess it up, and you have to seal it before you grout it.
Does the ceiling protect from scratching?
No.
Like with like laundry baskets on the floor?
Well, keep in mind, right, like you see this
Yeah.
thin layer
Yep.
here, okay? So that's actually the color in each of these is
Right.
that thick.
Right.
So even though it scratches, it's not gonna like show a different
yeah,
color.
yeah, no, I know that, but I'm just wondering.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a good option to bring to them and see. Does this get slippery on a floor?
No, we've got so much
'cause
grout there.
Yeah. I like this actually a little better.
The challenge with the master bath is keeping the cost down.
The problem is if we go with this marble and this is an inlay in front of the vanity, just that is like $5,000 worth of marble, which is like a little crazy. And then we throw this in the shower floor, which is another 800. So now we're up to 5,800. And then we still have the shower to do. So we gotta try to save some money somewhere.
Well, and maybe option B could be that we find a floor where we don't do an inlay, it's just plain.
Yeah, so option B is, I think, no inlay. And then maybe we do, you know, just a regular floor, and then we spend the money here on the floor in the shower, and we come up with shower walls that make sense, that that's not gonna be like a crazy number.
Maybe a 6x18. It's Subway as far as being ceramic, but it doesn't look like a Subway tile. It's got that larger format that we're going for in the marble.
I think we go with this porcelain option for the main floor. We do an inlay 6x4 in front of the vanity out of this bordered with two rows of this. So this I can make work with our budget. It's still expensive,
But it, yeah, it's beautiful.
but I can make it work. Well, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, it was nice to meet you.
All right, well, that was successful.
Yeah, you were very skeptical going in.
I was very skeptical. We had
We
talked
had
about
some plans.
We talked about it for 10 minutes last night as we wolfed down dinner at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, but it worked out.
It worked out.
All right.
All right, let's go.
See ya.
So here you can see some fire blocking that was done when this house was built. They just basically took old bricks, which they probably had from outdoor or chimney construction, and they just loosely mortared them in the bays. The purpose of this is to stop airflow. So in a fire event, the fire needs a couple of things. It needs a fuel source, which is the wood, and it needs air around it to burn. And so the purpose of this is to stop airflow traveling through the cavities, so essentially helps choke out a fire if you do have one. So this is what they used to use. They used to just kind of jam that in there. It's great for remodeling. We love it. Takes a lot to get rid of. So this is really good stuff, or as it says right on it, great stuff. So this is one of the things we use for fire blocking these days. Much easier to work with than the bricks. It just basically goes in a cavity like this. This stuff actually expands, so you can put it into a bigger opening and then it actually expands to fill that void, making a nice tight seal. Sometimes the foam won't fill a big space, so we use 2x material. Breathing the years of whatever was living up here.
Squirrel Hill is officially empty as of last night, so Jared and I are swinging over to take a look. It is full of so much stuff in there. The deal with this house was that they got to leave anything they wanted, which clearly they took advantage of. I probably got 2 or 3 more days of demolition and gutting and cleaning out, and then we'll get Ernie in here, and Ernie will take that tree down, take that barn down, work his way around and start to make sense of the lot. This is our pile of keeps so far. That's trombone. Back to high school, baby. Was it so bad? It's going for eagle. Whoop. We did find some cool antiques. They left a nice stand-up paddleboard. Anyone want a kayak? Recycle guys are here, picking up all the usable stuff. Feels good to not destroy everything. So what we're standing in now is a barn that was built in the early 1980s. And it's actually a really well-built barn, and I like the design of it. Because this is on a slab and we need to insulate it and we need to actually have a proper floor in here, what we're gonna do is the addition between here and the garage, which is going on the slab over there, is gonna be the same height as the finished floor that we're gonna build in here. So we're actually gonna build up a floor that we can insulate, and then we can put a proper wood floor on top of. Where you see the doors is actually gonna become the kitchen sink with a big bank of windows. Then the kitchen will be a big U shape. When you're standing here doing dishes, you can look out at the new driveway and the garage and watch your kids. You can see who's coming in and out of the driveway. And then you turn and you have a big opening to a living room with a wet bar over here. You've got a built-in breakfast nook in this corner. And overall, this space will flow really well out a big bank of glass into our backyard in the back. So the one thing we haven't figured out is what we're actually doing with this attic floor. So the attic is kind of useless other than storage because it has a low ceiling height. So what we were thinking about doing was taking this entire floor out, leaving a couple reclaimed beams or some sort of beam to keep the house from separating, and then opening the whole thing up all the way up to these collar ties. And then doing some sort of wood paneling on the collar ties all the way across and plastering down into the room. Otherwise, it's kind of a useless room. It's a 6-foot ceiling height. We can't really do much with that, so. All right, house is coming down.
The whole thing?
No, that's gonna be the kitchen.
Oh,
And
okay.
that squirrel stays. We can't let that go.
Tree going?
Tree comes down, barn comes down, the barn behind it comes down.
Okay.
It's really buggy over here. Holy cow.
My ears.
Coming up. Well, we messed up. Well, we messed up. I meant to take the door out. It was like a brand new door. It's been about 20 minutes. Next week on Heart of Oak.
Finally, the height I really wanted to be from birth.
Promo in 3, 2.
Hey, I'm PJ.
And I'm Lizzy.
And we own Heart of Oak. Wait, check out our show on.
We're from Heart. Oh, sorry.
Hey, I'm PJ.
And I'm.
Where we don't only just. And we don't just flip homes.
Houses.
And you should check out our. We take houses and we.
Nope.
No. Ah, what was wrong with that? I thought that was good. Was that not good?